Far too often I've seen organizations trying to capture client bases and ecosystems by themselves. I think what we're trying to achieve here is to be the internet of finance rather than our own individual intranet. We've seen the developments in the IT industry, but I think we all can be stronger together. My name is Winston. I work for an organization called SBI Digital Markets. We're a fully licensed broker-dealer based in Singapore, licensed under the CMS regime and regulated by the MAS. SBI DM's vision is to position itself as a blockchain-agnostic hub to connect exchanges, security platforms, and brokerages into SBI so that we can facilitate the distribution and origination of product. I think we're still at very early stages of the industry's development. I also feel that there's a lot of emphasis on product. The communication and the discussions have always been surrounding product, but I'm a firm believer that we still need to address the buy-side's needs, the buy-side's infrastructure, and I think that is somewhat lacking in most of the discussions. We can build wonderful products, but at the end of the day, we still need someone to consume these products, right? So as I travel across different jurisdictions, it's very apparent that in different countries, security tokens are treated very differently. There's also a sort of cultural effect, right, on how tokens are viewed. For example, in Japan, security tokens are treated and viewed quite differently from how they are thought about in Thailand. And also in Switzerland, where I feel the legislation and the rules are a lot more advanced. So these are some of the challenges. Cross-border treatment and regulations are not consistent. But at the same time, we cannot expect one common template or format for the entire industry. I think we're still learning each other's positioning in the game. And that's where bridging into different tokens, different legislative regimes is important. So the ambition of SBI Digital Markets is to behave as a blockchain-agnostic hub where we can connect different exchanges through SBI Digital Markets and different legal constructs and legislation. For example, we're doing a project right now that we're trying to connect Switzerland, Thailand, and Singapore as our first phase simultaneously to launch an alternative product. We intend to include more exchanges, Japan, Korea, when the market is ready, and even places like Hong Kong and Germany. A lot of times in the industry, people build individual silos and they are unable to scale their business because they're restricted into their own blockchain technology and so forth. So we're trying to connect different pockets of liquidity so that sum of the parts, right, larger than the whole. Blockchain is beyond the buzzword phase. It is reality. I think it's important for everyone to band together, to come together as one unit and put our differences aside to build this together. Far too often I've seen organizations trying to capture client bases and ecosystems by themselves. I think what we're trying to achieve here is to be the internet of finance rather than our own individual intranet. We've seen the developments in the IT industry, but I think we all can be stronger together. I think this is the essence of it, right? We try not to focus too much on the technology. Technology is utility for us, but connecting buyers and sellers has been going on forever, but I think blockchain brings about a new dimension to the whole process. It smoothens, it makes it more seamless, frictionless. So that's what we're trying to achieve, right? At the end of the day, and blockchain just helps facilitate that whole process.